3, 2, 1.
Turn it up, swashbucklers! You're listening to Under the Crossbones, episode number 204. My name is Phil Johnson. I'm your host for the show and the ship's payload commander for the last 203 plus this one episodes. And we'll be tying it up a little bit today, but more to come. All brought to you today by Pirate Radio, the Treasure Coast, of course, and the show notes at underthecrossbones.com/204. Fun fact about the number 204, in a poker deck with a single wild joker, there are 204 hands that are at least as good as a straight flush. Interesting. I also don't know anybody who plays poker with a joker in the deck, so who knows? But that's your fun fact for the number 204. So here we are, episode number 204. And this is going to be my last episode of the show. Nick Hoffman will be taking over next week. And I have a great guest for you today. I really, really do. Lou Hernandez, a.k.a. Cutthroat Cortez of Pirates Plunder, is going to be on the show today. And we're going to talk about how he went from being a cowboy to being a pirate. We're going to talk about Pirate Plunder's mission to educate and entertain children, especially sick children. And we're going to learn how he's also building it out into an event planning company. He's doing some really great stuff, and I think he is the perfect guest to be my final guest on the show. We'll talk more about that in a second. If you're enjoying the show, come join us over on Facebook, facebook.com/underthecrossbones. On Twitter, we're at undercrossbones. No the in that, it's too long. And do make sure that you're subscribed to the show. Hit that little subscribe button, whatever podcast app you're listening to this on right now, and you'll get the new episodes each and every week. And there will be more episodes. There's more of them coming. It just won't be me talking to you. It's going to be okay, friends. It's going to be okay. It has been my distinct pleasure to do this show for the last 4 years for you. It really, really has. And I want to thank you for all the notes and the comments that have been sent recently in the last couple weeks and also over the last few years. The whole process, this whole thing has been a really fantastic learning experience for me. And I'm glad you came along on the journey with me. Whatever I knew about, or whatever I thought I knew about pirates before, I know 10 times as much now. Whatever I thought I knew about interviewing and having discussions, I know 10 times as much more now. And whatever I thought I knew about the pirate fandom community, which when I started was very little, honestly, I know 100 times as much now. And it's been a joy to talk with and get to know the creative, supportive, and generous people that make up the pirate community. It really has. The 200 plus guests I've had on this show are all they're just people trying to put out good creative work in the world. And that's something that I can always get behind. And no doubt there are hundreds more that I didn't get a chance to talk to. Many more people I would have liked to talk to. And I'm looking forward to hearing Nick Hoffman talk with them on further episodes of the show. And he's going to do great things with it. Very excited to see what he does. As much as I've enjoyed doing the show, and I really, really have, I have to recapture some of that time for my own creative works that I'm trying to put into the world. I've got, right here on my desk, there's 4 little memory cards sitting in here that hold a brand new comedy special. That took me as many years to write as I've been doing this show. And so this is sort of a weird week for me where everything is kind of transitioning all at once. Very strange. But I have 4 little memory cards here on my desk that hold my new comedy special. And that has to be edited and finished and released to the world. And you'll hear more about where that's coming out and what it's going to be all on and all that kind of stuff. Not only that, I have to also start writing not 1 but 2 more comedy shows. One of which I'm pretty sure you'll be hearing about when it starts to become a real thing. I have a nearly finished novel that I'm anxious to get finished up and send out to the world, and then start pushing through some Hollywood doors as a screenplay. And I plan on releasing a lot more new music than I have been over the last couple of years. So I have a lot of things that have been a little bit backburnered, sort of halfway backburnered over the last couple of years that I need to dive into and get out in the world myself. Which I've been doing, but I need to do more of it. And so that's what I'll be doing. Somebody thought I was just going to be like relaxing. I don't know how to relax. I've never been good at that. So Nick Hoffman is taking over the show as of next week. And like I said, I'm super excited to see what he does with it. I had a nice visit with Nick just over the weekend as I was on my way to San Diego to film. And he is already full of ideas for the show. We talked about a bunch of things. that he would like to do, some of which I'll be working on sort of in the background, at least at the beginning. So you'll probably hear a little bit more of me on the show in the near future, at least. And I can almost definitely say that at some point I will be back in the podcast world in some way. I spent a lot of time talking into microphones, and I can't imagine that not continuing in all its various forms. Plus, even just listening to podcasts, I was listening to a lot of podcasts on my very long drive back and forth to San Diego over the weekend. And even just listening to podcasts is making me kind of Jones for creating new stuff for you. So I'm going to fight that Jones for a while I finish up this other stuff. But I can almost guarantee that there is another podcast in the future. And what it's going to be about or what kind of show it's going to be, I have absolutely no idea now. But it's rolling around in the back of my brain. So if you've enjoyed what I've done with this show, then I'm sure you'll enjoy wherever I end up next. And so even though you won't hear from me on this show every week, I hope we can still interact, and I hope I can show you the new things that I'm working on, and that we can still be friends. Whether we've actually met or not, you feel like friends to me. And so I hope we can continue to do that. You can, of course, find me on PhilJohnsonComedy.com or just search Phil Johnson Comedy on your platform of choice, and I will be doing things there. You'll always be able to find my stuff that way. All the audio streaming sites, Amazon Prime, YouTube, lots more to come. If you stick my name in there, chances are you're going to come up with me talking into a microphone and singing some stuff and doing some goofy things. You can also, of course, find all my tour dates that way. I would love to see you at shows and have you come up and say hi and all that kind of stuff. California, Florida, Vancouver, Canada, Oregon, Minnesota, all that stuff's on the calendar right now. PhilJohnsonComedy.com has all those tour dates. I would love, love, love to see you at a show so we can continue our ongoing relationship that we've had over the last 4 years. But we're not done just yet. Like I said, we got Cutthroat Cortez on the show today, and I can't think of a more fitting guest for my last show. As much fun as it is to talk to, famous actors and the in-depth historians and the authors and all the nutty bands and stuff, Lou Hernandez is what the pirate community is so much about. He's just a guy putting on his pirate garb and trying to put some good in the world by entertaining sick children. And I think that is so a focus of the community that I've observed over the last few years, is just cool people trying to do good, creative work. And Lou is doing exactly that. So let's do it. Let's talk with Lou Hernandez, a.k.a. Cutthroat Cortez. Enjoy. Let's start with a little description of what Pirates Plunder does and what you do within it.
Sure. Well, Pirates Plunder originally started after myself performing for many years under a different pirate crew in New Jersey. And when I left that crew, I said I still wanted to continue pirating somehow. So how can I be effective? How can I reach out to people? So Pirates Plunder came to mind, an organization. Let's try that. Uh-huh. So we started Pirates Plunder Entertainment. I went out, and the idea was to visit hospitals and bring cheer to kids that are sitting in the hospital. Okay. That was kind of the original thought. So we did a lot of that, visited the hospital, spent 2 hours with children and acting piratey, teaching them also, because what I do, I consider edutainment. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So we're actually kind of teaching these kids a little bit of history, but yet it's fun. It's educational, but they don't even realize that they're actually learning something.
That's the best kind of learning.
Absolutely. So I guess that was great for almost 6-8 months, and then it kind of changed again. It took another turn where I was, with all the years that I was performing as a pirate, I've met many, many crews throughout the years. Uh-huh. Whether there be bands that you probably know, other performing pirates, still walking pirates, all sorts of pirate entertainers. And sure. So what started to happen is that people were reaching out to me about, hey, how do I, start I need an event. I have an event in mind, and I need pirates. Well, here I go. I have a list of people that I've met through the years. Uh-huh. So I started to communicate with these other crews and say, hey, listen, these guys want to do an event here. You're interested in performing there or playing, if it was a band, for example, the Brigands. Okay. Other people like Loose Cannon Company, Todd Willis. He comes. And so what happened is that, yeah, I was able to put these events together for event planners, and then it just took off into this thing where everywhere we're turning, we're setting up events for these planners. So I have all these people. It's almost like Pirates Plunder is this big umbrella, and everybody else is allowed to fly their own flag under that Pirates Plunder Entertainment. and we can set them up in events. And that's what's been happening for the last, how many now? 5 months, maybe almost, it's been just going crazy with events.
That's great. Had you had any sort of event planning background behind that or before that? Or was that something where you just said yes, and then I'll figure out how to do it later?
Yeah, it was kind of, I have never done it before, but I have performed. I mean, I have to say, I have to give kudos to a crew that I performed with in New Jersey for a long, long time. That was Valhalla Pirates.
Okay, yeah.
So I performed with that group, and I just being on that side of it, from seeing what it takes to get an event set up and getting into those events and the work that goes on behind the scenes, I think that gave me enough experience to understand what was lacking for those entertainers that are out there. So what do we do that's different? We make sure that our entertainers are compensated accordingly. We also make sure that they're taken care of during an event. We have what we set up, we call them green rooms, and that could be a tent or an area that's air conditioned. And we feed them after the event or even during the event. There's refreshments and food. So it kind of really, they're enjoying working under that umbrella, things that they've never had. So I think that's what helped.
That's fantastic. So tell me a little bit about how you got into pirating in the first place. So you were with Valhalla Pirates in New Jersey previously. What were you doing just before you became a pirate?
I was actually a Western reenactor. There was a place in New Jersey called Wild West City. Okay. And I was performing as a cowboy there. I was doing that. And that's how I got into enjoying being in front of crowds and entertaining. Okay. But it happened that after a while, I took my son to a birthday party. And it turned out to be a pirate birthday party. And here comes this pirate, and the reaction he was getting from the kids and the adults just was incredible. And I walked over to him after, and I said, "Hey, how do I become a pirate?" And he was like, "Well, he was kind of being silly." And he goes, "First of all, you got to join a crew somewhere, and I can give you a card." So what happened? He gives me a card, and it's a Valhalla card. I make a phone call. And I tried to get it. It took me like 2 months before they finally let me come to an actual meeting. And I went there, and I knew already that this is what I wanted to do. And one of their things were, you need to create your own character. You just can't copy somebody. And then at that moment, I knew that I wanted to be Cutthroat Cortez, the Spaniard pirate. And I started to develop his character. And from there on, the rest is history. Cortez has become, I think it feels like everybody where I turn, everybody knows Cutthroat Cortez. So I guess he's done well for himself.
That's good. That's good. Was the cowboy thing just, was that something that you wanted to do, or was that something that you kind of fell into as a job?
No, it was something that I went to check them out. As usual, I took my son there. I said, I love this. This is really cool. I'm not shy, so I went and asked somebody about it and got into it relatively quickly. Okay, interesting. And you guys are out in the Delaware area, if I'm correct? We're in Dover, Delaware. Yeah. Okay. And is that where you grew up? Did you grow up around there? No, I'm actually from New Jersey, originally from Hoboken, New Jersey. Okay, all right, nice. I got family in that area. Yeah, it's a great city. It is, yeah. I've got family in Patterson, Hackensack, those areas over there. Great, know them well. Great, yeah. And okay, so you're in there. You fall into doing cowboy stuff, and then you fall into doing pirate stuff. And then what caused you to leave Valhalla Pirates and do something on your own? It was time for a change, I guess. We performed together for many years. Great crew, great bunch of people. Actually, the captain, I'm sure you know him, Captain Charles Black. And, yeah. I was his sword partner. We were sword fighters. We fought together on stage for a long, long time. And it was just time for a change and time for something new. I needed to do more, I think, for myself. I needed to be more hands-on and actually make a change, I felt. Okay, yeah. It sounds like you like to get your hands dirty with all the organizational stuff. Absolutely. I enjoy it. Some people, people like you have to exist in the world because other people hate to do that kind of stuff. But I have to tell you, I have to give a lot of credit to my girlfriend, April. She is the heart of the organization. She handles all the bookings and all the paperwork stuff. I feel I'm just a face. I just show up and there's Captain Cortez, and she's behind the scenes, the puppeteer, if you will.
Nice. Yeah. And just in the limited email back and forth I had with April, she does seem like she does a great job with that stuff.
Yes.
So when you got into, you said you kind of went into it with the charity angle in mind, where you wanted to go to Children's Hospital. And I know you work with, the DuPont Children's Hospital out there, right?
Yeah, we are now. We go there every month.
Okay.
And sometimes twice a month. And like I said, they have dubbed us their official pirates. They just love the fact that we come in, we spend that time with those kids, and at that time, I feel that those kids are forgetting about whatever illness they're going through, whatever it is that they're suffering through. They're kids again for that 2 hours, and they get to play around, and I read a book with them, or just to sit there and watch them play. Sometimes they won't even talk, but they'll sit next to me and play a game or something, and give me a little smile or a little wink every now and then.
Huh, that's interesting.
That's rewarding.
So how did that relationship with the hospital start to develop?
Well, it took some inquiring, but again, April did her magic and sent a lot of letters, and they were having a summer camp program, they call it, at the hospital. So in their main lobby, they would invite other groups or organizations that would like to kind of get involved in it, whether it be, for example, the Calamar Nickel, which is a foundation that runs a tall ship here in Delaware, very well known. Okay. And they were there, and they invite them and maybe a few other groups. And they set up whatever project they want to do with the kids at the time. They set it up. And so all the kids come down, and I was, after the writing of this letter to them, they finally said, hey, why don't you come and try this out? We're doing our summer camp program. So we went in, and Captain Cortez made his appearance, and with a few other little pirates, which are April's children, and they're wonderful as well. Uh-huh. And we quickly, got involved with the kids and playing games and showing them little pirate books, and they were reading, and it just took off, and they loved it. And I enjoyed it so much that I said, I got to come back here more. Mm. So it kind of, that relationship just started to cultivate from there, just back and forth, writing letters and saying we loved it, we enjoyed it. They send us a letter, we loved you having you. Can you come back on such a date? And it just keeps going. So now we just go every month.
That's great. And I'll bet the kids look forward to a new pirate invasion every month.
Oh yeah, I mean, and I have other crews that help us out, because like I said, we have that umbrella, and there's a lot of crews that are under that umbrella, and they come out. Fortune's Folly, wonderful crew. They come out, and they enjoy the children as well. So I have them. I have Bedlam Bones, which is a singing group.
Okay,
they're wonderful, and they're also One-Eyed Mike. I don't know if you probably know him, but he's the leader of that crew, and they also enjoy coming along. So it's just a collective effort. But I think that from people knowing me throughout all these years, they tend to say, well, this is somebody we want to join in what he's doing. So that's what's helping the organization grow.
Okay. And was that Children's Hospital one of the earlier relationships that you had for the organization?
Yeah, that was one of the first, yes.
Okay. Who else do you work with?
We do Ronald McDonald House.
Okay.
We've gone there a couple of times or maybe 3 times thus far. And that's another great organization. And it's kind of the same type of thing going on. We get in there, and those people that are either transitioning from getting ready to go home with their child being in the hospital for a period of time, or they're just coming in, they're instead of sitting there and not doing anything, here we are entertaining them for those 2 hours, and it's just bringing smiles. The staff is wonderful; they love us, and they feed the pirates. Thank goodness, their kitchen staff, and it's great.
That's very cool. That is really very cool. Do you do any fundraising kind of stuff, or is it mostly appearances?
Well, yeah, no. Again, Pirates Plunder Entertainment, I guess, is now becoming where an organization may need help, to raise funds.
Okay,
and they can communicate with us, and we would help develop an event that would ultimately help them raise whatever it is they're looking to make.
Okay, yeah. Do you have any plans for 501c3 status or anything like that?
We are a 501c3 organization.
Oh, you are? Okay.
We finally got that, and it's been great. So that was again April's work.
What did that process look like?
It's paperwork, a lot of questions about the organizations, and you obviously got to show that what you're doing is within the legal rights, obviously.
Sure.
And we were able to gain that status, so it's fantastic.
That's great. What kind of events are you producing? What's coming up?
Well, if I can tell you what we recently did, we just did the Calamar Nichols Pirate Festival.
Okay.
2019. That was a huge festival. We had tons of entertainment there. We had the Brigands. We had Fortune's Folly performing that one. We had Bedlam Bones. We had Todd Willis, with his organization. We had just a grand of a group of people. So I think it was an epic event. And we had thousands of people came out to see us. So that was a great, successful event. We were also we were made the official pirates of the Calamar Nickel.
Okay.
So that's a great honor as well.
That's very cool. Event planning is a definite skill. What are some of the things that you've learned along the way that you wish or that you would improve the next time, let's say?
Well, it is a learning curve, but I think, again, from the experience being on the other side, I understand what the entertainers can do, and then being able to project that vision to an event planner is key.
Yeah.
They usually have an idea, but they're not sure. Which way do we turn? Who do we go? How do we do this? So, when I meet with them or when we meet with them, it's giving them a picture in their mind that we can say, this is what it's going to look like. We make it exciting when we talk to them about it, because it is exciting to have these groups coming out. So we develop a vision of what they want to see, and then hopefully we can plug everybody in, and then it becomes an epic event because everybody just loves what they're doing. So it comes from the heart from all these groups we work with.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. How much of what you do is stories and games versus like actual historical reenactment kind of stuff? Do you do any of that?
Well, again, we do stories and games. We do as part of what we do. It's a collaboration of things. It's not just, we try to give them a little bit of everything. So it's not just stories and games, but yet it's educational as well. We talk about why pirates might have climbed rigging on a ship, and why did pirates sing shanties? Okay, so we educate them, but yet it's fun because they're listening to the shanties as well. So we do have educational programs as well. So it all kind of blends into the same thing. So it's learning in a fun way.
There's so much pirate history in that particular set of states that you're working in there. Mm-hmm. I would imagine it's interesting for the kids to find out that there was real stuff happening there.
Oh, absolutely. And even adults as well.
Yeah.
The children, they've heard the names, Captain Kidd and other pirates, and they go, we've heard of that name, but they didn't realize how involved they were here.
Right.
And adults as well. We've sat with organizations, or let's say a committee, and said, well, why should we have a pirate festival, they tell us? And, well, because you're rich in history here. Do you realize that the colonials needed pirates to survive, to be able to get, they needed money because the English wouldn't let them have coin. So where would the coin come from? Well, obviously pirates spending their coin in their towns.
Sure. Yeah.
Or even getting the goods that they needed that they couldn't normally get. So sugar and fine silks and things like that. So they were very important, and they were used, they were pirate ship, not pirates, let's say they were ships that were given letters of marque to go out on behalf of the colonials and to pillage so they can get these things. So.
Right. How do you fit your Spanish pirate character into that context?
Into what I do? Well, Cortez is very charismatic.
Okay.
So he's very charismatic, and but yet he could be silly and funny at times as well. So I think the combination of the charisma and the comedic part of him, people tend to flock to him as well as children. He's very friendly. Cortez loves kids.
Okay.
So it really works out well, and I think the character is still growing. I think Cortez will never stop growing or changing.
Sure, yeah. Well, anytime you have to inhabit a character for that long, you're bound to learn new things about it.
Sure.
Yeah, I believe I saw you guys did a 4th of July parade yesterday. We're talking on July 5th today.
Yeah, that was in Bethany Beach, and we were well received there as well. It was wonderful. Hot, humid, but I guess pirates love that weather, so we had to suck it up and do what we had to do. But it was wonderful. We have a float, and there's a ship that was actually built by April's father, and with a little work, it turned into a pirate ship, and we had it there, and we marched in the parade, and we were firing pistols and talking to the crowds and being piratey. And I think that Bethany Beach loves pirate Plunder.
So the float started as a regular actual ship, and then you adapted it?
Well, no. Well, April's dad built it for us.
Okay.
In Missouri.
Okay.
He built it, and it was just a plane. It just looked like the hull of a ship. It didn't have mast on it or anything like that, but it was the shape of a ship. And he said, "I'll bring it to you guys, and we'll finish it up." Well, lo and behold, we had this parade, and he had to go back home. So we wound up getting involved, and we recreated it. It has a mast. It looks like a pirate ship, and it's wonderful. Yeah.
Oh, that's so great. That's very cool. And gives you a good reason to go out and hunt up other parade gigs, I suppose. Absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
That's very cool. So what's coming up in the next couple months where people can come and see you guys?
Well, there's, a lot of private events are going on.
Okay.
At the moment. We are doing campgrounds. Campgrounds are always looking for entertainment during their season.
Sure.
So, quite a few have contacted us, and we booked events that are considered private at the moment. But again, if people are interested, they can look at our website and find out information as to what campground we're on. And if you're a camper and you're interested in coming in, you can call the campground and book yourself a place and come see the pirates.
There you go. Cool. And what is your website?
It is www.piratesplunder.com.
Excellent.
I'm sorry, Pirates Plunder Entertainment. Sorry.
There it is.
Let's correct that.
Good. I'll make sure that that's all in the show notes. And Lou, thank you. This was really fun. I'm glad we finally got a chance to do this.
Well, I appreciate your time, and anything else you need, remember, Pirates Plunder Entertainment, one-stop shop for all your pirating needs.
Sounds good, man. Thanks.
All right. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye. And there it is, friends. That is my talk with Cutthroat Cortez. I hope you enjoyed that. I really did. Like I said, I think that is the best guest that I could have on my way out of this show, because he's so representative of the people that I've met in the pirate community, and I think he's a great guy. And I think you are great people as well. What did you like? What did you learn? What did you hear? Where did you want to stick your 2 cents in? You can do that. Come on over to Facebook, facebook.com/underthecrossbones. There'll be a thread there for this episode where you can leave your comments, ask some questions, stick your 2 doubloons in the mix, and I think that's a good thing to do. All the show notes are at underthecrossbones.com/204. And of course, if you want to find out more about what Pirates Plunder is doing, go to piratesplunderentertainment.com. And of course, that will be linked up in the show notes as well. We're sponsored today by Pirate Radio of the Treasure Coast, WKKC-DB, playing the best music, today's hits, and yesterday's classics. And you can hear Under the Crossbones on there every Wednesday at 10 p.m. And that will continue. Yes, it will. To listen, go to pirateradioofthetreasurecoast.com. You can also use the Live 365 app and search for Pirate Radio, or you can dial up your Alexa or your Google device and ask it to play Pirates Radio of the Treasure Coast, Pirate Radio of the Treasure Coast. Oh, I'm getting my S's, my plurals, and my singulars mixed up today. That's okay. Find out more about it and tune in to listen at pirateradioofthetreasurecoast.com. And I want to thank Pirates Radio for being such a great sponsor and such a great syndicator of the show over the last 4 years. I think I had only done maybe 10 or 12 episodes before David got in touch with me about putting it on Pirates Radio. So thanks to those guys. David and Ellen are great over there. If you see them at one of the pirate festivals down in Florida, make sure you go say hi and thank them for what they're doing, because they are working hard for the pirate community as well. And that is our show for today, friends. Again, if you want to find out more about what Lou Hernandez, a.k.a. Captain Cutthroat Cortez, is doing, go to piratesplunderentertainment.com. And thank you very much for tuning in. Whether you're new to the show, whether you just showed up a couple episodes ago, or whether you've been hanging in there with me for the whole 4 years, I absolutely appreciate your ear time. I know how many different podcasts out there and movies and TV shows. There's so much to take up your time that when you come and spend 45 minutes with me, I value that highly. And so thank you very much for doing that. And I'll see you in other things and in other places, and I'll be around. All right. So keep in touch. We'll do like in the yearbooks. Remember the high school yearbooks? KIT. Keep in touch. Never change. You're so sweet. All right. So say hi, keep in touch, and I'll see you soon.